Hello, my name is Ryan Gordon, and I'm a sophomore at Astronaut High School, and today I'm going to be reading The Berenstain Bears, Trick or Treat by Stan and Jan Berenstain. The sights in autumn were all around as Mama Bear pushed her shopping cart along the path that led to the Bears' family treehouse. The trees and shrubs were ablaze with color. Farmer Ben pumpkins stood bright orange in the October sun. The crowds crowed noisily as they searched the stubble for bits of corn. Wild geese in great V formations honked high in the skies as they flew south. But the surest sign of the season was inside the treehouse, behind Papa Bear's easy chair. It was Brother Bear waiting to try out his new Halloween costume on Mama. It wasn't Halloween yet, but Brother and Sister couldn't wait to try on their new costumes. Sister was going to be a beautiful ballerina. Well, what do you think? She added, taking the third position. Shh, said Brother. Mama's coming. Brother had chosen to be a spooky monster on Halloween. He had brought the spookiest monster mask he could find, and Mama made the rest of the costume. Boo! He shouted at Mama as she came in with the groceries. Help! A monster! She cried, pretending to be frightened. It's only Mama, he said, showing his face. So is it? Said Mama. Well, that just goes to show that appearances can be deceiving. Appearances can be deceiving? What does that mean? Asked Sister. It's just a grown-up way of saying things aren't always what they look like, explained Mama. As she unpacked the groceries, look, goodies, said Brother. Hands off, please, said Mama. Those are for trick-or-treaters who come to our house tomorrow night. Brother and Sister were excited about Halloween, and a little nervous too. This was the first year they were going to be trick-or-treating without a grown-up along to supervise. I'm not sure that I like the idea of them going out by themselves, said Papa, as he carved the pumpkin he got from Father Ben. It's pretty spooky out there, he added, making a scary face at the cubs. Now, Papa, said Mama, if Brother and Sister want to accept the challenge of going out on their own, I think we should encourage them. But remember, she continued, turning to the cubs, there'll be strict rules. You'll stay in your own neighborhood, and you won't eat any of the treats until you come back home. Besides, said Brother, we won't really be by ourselves. We made a trick-or-treat date with Cousin Freddie, Lizzie Brune, and Queen McBear. Look at that pumpkin growing so bright. There, said Papa, putting the finished touches on the jack-o'-lantern. Then he lit a candle inside and turned out all the lights. It was pretty scary. The next day, Brother and Sister began planning the trick-or-treat route they'd follow that night. Brother got a pencil and paper and made a map of the neighborhood. That way, he explained, they wouldn't miss anybody. Let's see now, he said. We'll stop at houses first. Ours Freddie, Lizzie, and Queen's. Then we'll do Farmer Ben's and our sister's Mrs. Grizzle. Mrs. Grizzle, for sure, agreed Sister. She usually made special Halloween cookies. And Teacher Jane, she gives out good stuff. How about Dr. Grizzly? Asked Brother. She's into health snacks. I think so. Just be polite to her, said Sis. Gramps and Granims. Of course, of course. I'll tell you one place we are going to miss, said Brother, folding his map. What place is that? Asked Sister. That one, he answered, pointing out to a window at his home of old Ms. McGriz. It was a spooky, twisted old treehouse in the thicket at the end of Crooked Lane. We're definitely not going there, he added with a shiver. That spooky house right there. Why ever not? Asked Mama, who was listening. Why not, said the cubs. Because she's a witch. That's why not. What utter nonsense, protested Mama. Sure, Miss McGriz is old and bent, rather forbidding look, but I can assure you she's a perfectly nice person. But the cubs didn't believe her, not only for a minute. They knew better, everyone knew better, not to doubt about it. Miss McGriz was a witch for sure. Just after dark, a pirate skeleton and wicked queen from the Snow White came for brother and sister. They were Freddie, Lizzie, Queenie, of course, and together they ventured out into the darkness where their trick-or-treat bags. Before they could get started collecting Halloween goodies, they were joined by some worrisome company. Too Tall Grizzly and his gang out for mischief. Too Tall didn't waste any time trying to get brother and sister and their friends to go along with them and his gang. Come along. We'll show you good goodies, how to have some real Halloween fun, he said, pulling brother along with him. What sort of fun? Asked brother warily. Oh, you might say we're gonna put the treat back in the trick-or-treat, he said, chuckling. It was so dark that brother and the others didn't notice where they were heading. Hey, said sister, there's Crooked Lane. That's right, Too Tall. We're gonna play a few tricks on the old witch McGriz. What? Sorts of tricks? Asked brother. He gnarled. Twisted old treehouse loomed ahead. First, whispered Too Tall, taking a roll of toilet paper from his jacket. We'll decorate your house with a little of this. Then maybe we'll tie a few knots in her clothesline, then smear some honey so she'll stick to it when it flies. So they're gonna put this toilet paper around her house. But before Too Tall and his gang could start the mischief, the front door opened and a bright yellow light stabbed the darkness. And there in the doorway stood the frightening figure, old Miss McGriz. Aha, she said in a gravely voice. I'm ready for you. She then led the terrified cubs into a cozy living room. To their great surprise, there was a big tray of beautiful candy, apples, and prepared for their Halloween visitors. Mama was right, whispered sister to brother. Mr. Grizz was a really sweet, kind old person. The cub thanked her for the beautiful apples and went about to the rest of the trick-or-treat business. Well, Mr. Grizz gave her those big apples. Later that evening, brother and sister were at home, looking all over treats they had collected. The beautiful candy apples stood out, and Papa asked, where did they come from? From Miss McGriz, answered brother. From that scary-looking old grouch putz that lives down old Crooked Lane, said Papa. That's right, said brother, taking a delicious bite of his candy apple. You must really try to remember, Papa said sister, giving her apple a little lick. Appearances can be quite deceiving.